So now we come to the last rule that governs our semicolon or semicolon rule number 3. Though this is the last rule and it is not very frequently used on the SAT, but you can find 1 or 2 questions based out of this rule on the SAT. This is called the serial semicolon or the semicolon in a list. This is probably the only time when a semicolon is not really used as a period. So let's dive into this rule. So we use a semicolon to separate a list of items that already contain commas. So what happens if there is a sentence wherein you have got item A, comma, item B, comma, item C, and then you have also got another list which has got item E, comma, item F, comma, item G, right? How do you demarcate these two? This basically is demarcated by using a semicolon. That is the simple idea of this rule. That if you have got a list which is different from another list which is different in the same sentence, the major items, the major lists are to be demarcated by using a semicolon. That is the simple rule. So let us look at this. While the United Nations is headquartered in New York City, it also has central offices in Nairobi, Kenya, Geneva, Switzerland, and Vienna, Austria. Now, as you can understand that we are trying to make this as a group. Nairobi is in Kenya, Geneva is in Switzerland, and Vienna is in Austria. So definitely we cannot use a comma as has been used out here, right? This is incorrect, and hence the major groups have to be demarcated by the use of a semicolon like this one. Obviously, like the serial comma, the semicolon would also be there in front of the and in case the items are more than 2, like what we have done in the Oxford comma, right? So let's take some SAT examples and understand this. So one special situation where a semicolon does not act as a period are used to separate items in a list using commas, where the commas alone would make it unclear or confusing, like the last one. So let's read this one, the incorrect one. The skills necessary for success as a biology professor at the Stanford University are what? Mentoring, teaching, and supporting the students in your class. So this is one that is required. So this is one of the skill. This is one of the skill. Okay, skills rather. Providing an open environment for discussion, skill number 2, requirement, skill number 2, and skill number 3, conducting research and involving microbiology, biotechnology, or biochemistry, skill number 3. So there are 3 skills, 3 basic skills that is enumerated out here. 1, mentoring, teaching, and supporting students in your class. 2, providing an open environment for discussion. And 3, conducting research involving microbiology, biotechnology, or biochemistry. But unfortunately, because there are multiple things in the same skill, in this one you have got mentoring, teaching, supporting. In this one you have got microbiology, biotechnology, or biochemistry. If you keep using commas within the major group, this becomes very, very confusing, and hence in the major groups you are supposed to demarcate it using semicolons. So these commas are okay within the group, minor groups, right? This is perfect, right? But then you've got to have a semicolon out here, producing an open environment for discussion, again a semicolon, and conducting research involving microbiology, comma, and comma, right? Or whichever way, right? Perfect. So this basically is the semicolon rule number 3, and this is sometimes used on the SAT, and few and far between though, but then yes, we need to understand this rule. So let's look at another example. The Sweat Doing Dam Nature Reserve and the Mount Sheba Nature Reserve are the 2 nature reserves in South Africa dedicated to fostering a protected habitat for many endangered species such as the Samango monkeys and the black rhinoceros, providing outdoor recreational activities such as hiking and fishing and protecting indigenous lands. Great. So obviously, as you can understand, lots and lots of items, we will have to basically put them into groups. So we need to understand which are the major groups out here. So that would get us down to the correct one, which is the Sadweng, the Swedweng, whatever the name is, Nature Reserve, and the Mount Sheba Nature Valley Reserves are the two of the many nature reserves in South Africa dedicated to fostering protective habitat for endangered species. Okay, such as no punctuation after such as we have already seen, such as X, Y, and Z. Okay, great. So this is okay. So this is the first thing. This is the first item that these two, one of the many nature reserves does. What do they do? What do they do? They protect things like the Samango monkeys and the black rhinoceros. They also provide outdoor recreational activities. List number 2, major group out here. So obviously a semicolon out here. And then what is the minor group? What is the minor group in the recreational activities such as hiking and fishing? And again a major group, right? Protecting land, the indigenous land. So 3 major groups and lots of activities, or lots and lots of things inside these. So this is how the comma rule works. Like commas, there has to be at least 2 items in a list for semicolons, else it can be simply an and can be used, right? Like the Oxford comma, the and has to be used at the end with a semicolon preceding the and. So let's take a SAT example, and I'll give you 2 minutes to work this out. Just pause the video and work it out. During the 3-year culinary program, students learn to cut with proper technique, season food, plate beautifully, construct plans for menus, kitchens and sitting chart, and manage inventory. Great. So what are the major groups? During the 3-year culinary program, students learn to cut with proper technique. Okay, great. So item number 1, season food, plate beautifully. Item number 2, and construct plans for menus. Great. Item number 3, kitchens and sitting menus. Okay, plans for menus, kitchens and sitting charts, of course, to here. Item number 3 and item number 4. Great. So a semicolon out here is correct. Okay. Construct plans for menus, kitchen, and a semicolon out here would be the correct one. I don't know what is actually given. Let me just erase this off and see what is there. Yeah, there is a semicolon out here, so this is correct. And proper technique. So the correct answer to this one would be B, because this one, the major group, and this major group isn't demarcated by a semicolon. This is demarcated by a comma. I could barely see that, but then yeah, the correct one would be, obviously, as now we understand, this has to be a semicolon. This is got to be a semicolon. Construct plans for menus, kitchens, and this is obviously an internal thing. So obviously this is a comma. So this is how it goes. This is what the SAT example would look like. So thank you so much for being in this class, and stay tuned for the next section, which is going to be on the colons.